Thanks, and welcome to our August 2021 AVA webinar. Thank you to everybody who's come to be part of America's Walking Club online during this month. Again, we are a national walking club, so this allows us to meet nationally every single month and to learn more about our walking sport and ways in which we can help do great things in our popular sport world in our communities. I'm going to turn it over to our CEO, Henry. Henry, live from Texas. I'm assuming you're in Texas. Why don't you introduce our guest, please, sir?
Thanks, Tim. Yes, I am. And welcome everyone to, I like to call them the Tim Talks, but Tim doesn't like me to say that, but I said it anyway. So, and I love your t-shirt, Tim, by the way. So yeah. So thank you, everyone. So this workshop, this first segment is dedicated to the Austin Peay University.
I'm still here. I'm just moving, so my camera will come back on. I apologize. Go ahead.
We can see you. And to give an overview of the partnership that we're establishing with the university to support the students that are going through the program there at the university, and our clubs that are looking for support in graphic design. And so last year we sort of kicked this off. Tim's wearing a t-shirt that was designed by the students from Austin Peay, actually. And so they created the design for the t-shirt and the logo for National Walking Week. And we loved it, and we invited them back to see if there's any clubs out there that want support or want to apply to see if maybe they would be eligible to get some free support for graphic design work for their clubs through the internship program at the university. And so I'd like to introduce Rachel Bush, who's actually I think she is no longer, it might be somebody else, but she was running that program, that department at the university. And we talked, and she was actually gonna come out to the convention, but that didn't work. So we followed up with a webinar for clubs that are interested in this partnership. And it's a two-way street. It's really, how can we help the students learn in their service learning program within the university setting? And then how can they support the clubs as well with some of the things they're learning in their graphic design class? So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Rachel Bush. Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Hi. Yeah, sorry, I started a little bit earlier. I will repeat a little bit of what I said. I was just introducing myself. So as you said, my name is Rachel. I'm a professor at a university called Austin Peay State University, which is outside Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee. And essentially, it's about 40 minutes outside Nashville. So everyone knows Nashville, but Clarksville is actually surprisingly really big. And so our university runs about 10, 11,000. And so I'm in the graphic design program, and we started a class about 6 years ago where we noticed our students weren't really working with actual clients. And so we started this service learning course, and through the grapevine got connected with Henry and worked with Tim. And I'll talk about his shirt here in just a second. And essentially what it is it's unfortunately, I do want to clarify one thing real quick, not to correct Henry, because he was correct in what he was saying. But our internship program is actually separate. So I do run both. And I had talked to him about that at one point. What I'm talking about today, though, specifically is the course. So the course is called Design Center. And what we do is we try to get clients for our students to work with. So it's a two-way street. So the students learn because they get a real world client. They get to work with somebody that's not their professor. They get to work for somebody who actually needs something in their field or service. And then the client also, usually they're nonprofit clients, and they're able to gain something for free because they don't have a lot of financial assistance working for a nonprofit. So we have those partnership with the students. And so what we did last year is we just to figure out how many people we help. So it's not, say we have 10 students in the class. It's not one client for all those students. What we do is we cap the class at 18, but last year we had 21 students in it. It's continuing to grow, which is great. And what we do is we try to get each of those students 3 clients within a semester. So if you're talking about 20 students, we're now talking about 60 clients, so 60 different nonprofits that we can help. And so that's where you guys come in, and I'm sort of introducing that topic is we've been able to help some walking clubs. And so last year we had a student group create that t-shirt. We also had one create a brochure, I believe, and then we had Henry, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a walking club out in San Francisco, and we revamped their logo, made them some signs. And so what you would do, the class sort of runs where it's not an internship student or an intern, it's for a semester. You would be one of those clients for one of those students for one of those rounds, if that makes sense. I know. So if there's 60 clients, they have about a month per client. So there's clients in September, clients in October, and clients in November, and you could sign up to be one of those clients for one of those students, and you could have a job completed for free. You just have to sign some paperwork, some contracts for the class saying you agree that you're in a service learning program. And so there's no presentation, but I will share in the chat, and I'm going to share some student work with you of things that we have done in the past. So a lot of people say, hey, I need assistance. I don't really know what to give your student. Now, some people who come at us are I know exactly what I need. I need a lot. Okay. So unfortunately, sometimes we can only help you with one thing: a logo, a t-shirt, a brochure. Then we get requests where we can't really help you out, where it's like a website. It's just too big within our time frame. Videos, video production really falls outside our purview as far as just time frame. So you have to find something that we can help you with that would take about 3.5 to 4 weeks. So let me just show you some of those things that we have done for students or for nonprofits. So you can see this here. I'm going to bring this up. So here is a card for a nonprofit in Nashville called Bookem. And what they did is they did a mailer. And so they mailed all of these cards that are sponsors. And it was basically a mailer they could fold out. Okay, so then we have things like posters. So there's Hope Pregnancy Center within Clarksville, Tennessee. And they wanted to make a poster to promote their values. Now, I understand that they were talking about a lot of walking clubs, but if you know somebody in the nonprofit sector, walking club or not, that could benefit from this, I will say that we take on groups that believe everything, their values span across the board. Their mission statements are all over. We're not very picky about who we help. We let the student decide if their values strongly go against the company. Then we can talk with them about that. But for the most part, students really enjoy helping these nonprofits and getting their message out there. So this is a poster. Here, what you see is a series of banners. So this is actually a good job to show you that we get a lot of common requests for social media. So if you're a walking club and you're trying to get social media out there, we can't really start an account. We can't really run that account for you. But what we can do is we can make things for it. So what you're looking at here is Habitat for Humanity. We help them, and they have a store in Clarksville, the Restore, and they wanted graphics for each of their seasons to put on Facebook. So Facebook banners. So we do a lot of banners. We do a lot of Instagram posts, things like that, of that nature that help the social media, but we can't really run the social media. Here you're seeing another holiday card. So just another Christmas card. And what we do is we do everything, except we don't pay, obviously, to print. Unfortunately, last year, last year we were able to get a grant for the class. That was about $6,000 to help with some of these nonprofits and their costs and printing. We did not obtain that this year. COVID cut that budget. So we're still helping. We're still running the class. We're just not able to help financially. So we do still set everything up to send to the printer, and then they pay for printing cost. So here's another one. So here's Lions Club International, a brochure they made, and they use that, they print it out. So I'll just go through, like I said, I'm just sort of showing you some ideas. Another brochure for a legal company. This was fun. This was like a patch we've done. So we do patches and badges. This was for a national park called Dunbar Cave. That they wanted to put on shirts, the side of the park rangers shirts. So it's actually really fun because these students sort of see their work come to life. And that's what's really fun about service learning is they don't just get an assignment and they're done and they show the class. They get an assignment, they do it, and then they start to see it, whether it be a billboard out in town, a patch on someone's shirt, or a t-shirt, like we're seeing right now. It's really, really fun. And I gave, and they sent me t-shirts and I gave those students and they really enjoy it. Metro Parks of Nashville. So what you're seeing here, I do want to clarify, when the class started about 6 years ago, we started, we had the students meet with those clients. And so therefore it was always in Nashville and Clarksville. COVID hit, and as bad and as it affected higher education, the one good thing that came from it was all the meetings went to Zoom, which meant a lot of our clients therefore didn't have to be in physical location for us to meet. So everybody was meeting on Zoom. So therefore we were able to help people all over the country. And we did. We helped people in San Francisco and Atlanta and Dallas and Florida. And so now we're not really stuck to those. We still have those meetings. You still have to meet with that student once at the beginning, and they ask you a lot of questions about what you need. But now they can be everywhere. So sometimes, COVID obviously sucks, but sometimes COVID helped us out. And that's one instance where COVID helped us out. And our clients are now all over the country. Here was an actual internal client that we did for the university. It was a nonprofit. The university actually started a cooking show on YouTube for students. So we do work for the food pantry. And so COVID hit and they were doing, a lot of students needed food. So the food pantry sort of took off. A lot of students utilized that. And so they asked us to create a logo for their cooking show because not only were they giving them food, they wanted to show them how to make different things when they took that food. Again, this is, we actually work for the city. So it's cool because some of our clients are nonprofits that may be helping out a cause. And then some of our clients, I will say, are not nonprofit, but they still help in some way. So how we clarify how we take on clients is we take them on if they help somebody else. So there are some for-profit clients we take on, like the city of Clarksville and the Parks and Recreation Department, who will put on light shows for kids or movies in the park for kids or something. They do a lot of programs. So we'll help them too, even though they're technically not nonprofit. We also helped a gym out, and that gym was for-profit, but that gym also did a lot of food drives. So I don't want to say you can't get help if you are for-profit. You can. You just have to sort of clarify how you help in some ways, whether it be a club or something else. So here you're seeing a logo for a Christmas lights on the river. Another brochure for Habitat for Humanity. This was another division of Habitat for Humanity. So this was Montgomery County, not the Restore. And you guys, when you look at this brochure, you guys being the client or potential client, you would provide us the pictures, you provide us the content. We don't write the content as designers, but we are here to sort of help your marketing needs. And that's how you can think of it, is what I would say, is marketing. We want to help you. I will clarify, this is not really to help you gain money. It's more of an awareness thing. Have we done things to help nonprofits bring in more money? Yes, we have, but that's not really our main purpose. We're really here to help the community because you help the community. And so the goal is to get out there and do that. So here you're seeing what looks like to be a brochure. It's not. It's the inside of inside of a pamphlet. And this company is called Oasis, and they wanted to hand out something in their meetings, sort of like, monthly meetings, where it was just 11 by 17 folded. So it folded in 8.5 by 11. So it's more of like a pamphlet that was just informative. And that's what you're seeing here. We've also created templates. So some people will say, hey, I want to create something, but I don't have the content. Well, we can create templates for where when you get the content, you can put that in. This is the outside. It's a company for youth called Oasis. The Oasis Center, they were in Nashville. All right, so I think it froze a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to show you a couple more. Here's one called P-Link. So Austin Peay State University. This was something that was internal as well, the same organization. A student did it for another student organization who was helping students. So it was students for students. That was a pretty interesting job. Here you're seeing another sort of pamphlet for this organization that gives away free books called Pencil. And they sort of partner with you. They volunteer, impact, support. So everything you're seeing in here, our students have done for these clients. The clients have met with them. So there's the inside and outside. Okay, so what you're seeing here is actually called Agape Rescue, which they animal rescues within. They rescue animals within Clarksville. And this is just one postcard of 6 postcards they created, and what they wanted to do was mail out all the 6. So we created all 6 of them. They mailed them out one at a time, and it was informative to tell the community how they could help, like the puppy program and things like that. Here you're seeing another one. So this is interesting. I'm just showing you, I'm trying to show you a variety here. This was an infographic. So if you're familiar with infographics, then great. If not, then I can sort of introduce you to this concept. We actually are, since COVID hit especially, we've been tasked, or our class and students have been asked to do infographics so much to the extent we offered an infographics course. So what we're doing, because everybody's online and everybody's in social media nowadays, they are asking us to take information that is informative and make it interesting. That's basically what infographics is. It's visual information. So you go into a medical office, that you see things that we have done, right? Or designers have done on our class. So this was an interesting idea. They did Project Return, which is they help felonies when they get out of prison, or help felons when they get out of prison return to society, called Project Return. And they didn't want to just say, here's the list. They wanted a timeline. So where you guys would come in, say you are a walking club and you need help, you could do maps. So we've done a lot of maps that are infographics of where you walk. We've done a lot of directional signage. We've done wayfinding systems where we tell people where to go and how to go. But on the flip side, infographics do take a lot of time. You have to be very prepped. If this is something you want to do, you have to say exactly what you want to the student. Here we actually worked for the Tennessee Arts Commission, which does things in downtown Nashville. This is TPAC specifically, and they do shows, and they want to give away tickets. So this is a poster our students created. Urban Ministries. So this was a logo they needed. They had started, this was a church in town, and it wasn't the church we helped. It was actually a organization they started called Urban Ministries, which was a house they built. And that house was big enough to house about 4 or 5, maybe 6 full-size families if they became homeless. So they transitioned into a house. So they were there to help families for a short amount of time, and we were able to go meet with them. We were to go see them. Now, in saying that, we have clients around the country. We are not able to see all the places that we help. So we do ask clients who are in Florida or in Dallas or in San Francisco, introduce us to what you're doing, tell us about the area. If you feel like the students would benefit from knowing about the geographic location, tell them about that in that meeting. If they are in town, we try and go see them. Pending COVID. Here is another instance you're seeing of infographics. It's an organization called Waves. It's by the numbers. So they wanted to give out a thing about developmental disabilities, and it was a mailer, and they mailed this to everybody, and it was an infographic. So another brochure. We do a lot of trifold brochures, a lot of logos. It's not unheard of to to do not just trifold brochures. I think that a lot of nonprofits come to us, and I have nothing against trifold brochures, but what we try to do as students and try to do as the professor in the course is tell you your options. So if you come to us with a job, we say, have you thought about this? What's your budget? You know, we're not taking the money to put in our pocket. So, you know, a lot of people will say, well, this is the budget to print. So we look at companies, we look at vendors and try and help you out. I think that is the last one. I do have a couple student work from last time. That again is more brochures. I'll try and find one specifically that might affect. What you're seeing here on my screen is they do 3 clients, and the 3rd client, we actually partner them up. And you're not seeing the walking one, but we partner them up and we give them an event. Okay, so I'll introduce this, and then I'll wrap up and tell you how you can do this. Okay, so the 1st and 2nd clients are clients like you, but if this is where Tim came in, occasionally we'll get a grant. Even if we don't get the grant, the 3rd client, we group those students sometimes. So I want to clarify, I'm not going to be teaching it this year, but I do want to clarify, sometimes what we do is we group those students, and instead of just doing one job for one client, we actually have them do an event. Okay, so if it's National Walking Week, if it's some people do like a festival, a certain weekend where it's like a marathon. They'll do a banquets. Okay, so I do have to clarify, if this is something you're interested in, there's a little bit more detail that goes into it. You have to fill out a form, you have to submit how much you think it would cost, or what kind of work you would need. So I'm about to show you one event. The events have to be in the spring. We only offer this course once a year, and it's in the fall. If the event is in the fall, we cannot design and promote for it because there's not enough time. The event is already here. So if you have an event in the spring coming up, then we can sometimes help you. So instead of doing one job, we'll actually do a whole bunch for you. So what you're seeing here is a group, two girls did a questionnaire for an organization called the Food Initiative. They're a nonprofit in Clarksville. And they ended up doing, I'll show you, an event called Hog Roast. Okay. So what they did is, it was a hog roast that brought people out to the farm to tell them about this farm and what they did. Okay. So it was really an awareness event. It wasn't to raise money. And so they branded everything, and they created invites. They created invitations. They created shirts. They created a logo. They created yard signs. So if we go over here to this group, they did an invitation. Now let's see, for clients. So they did a logo. It was called Heroes Breakfast Operation Stand Down. And not only did they do a logo, they did an invitation. They did a large sign to put logos on for that event. They didn't have them yet, so they were sort of waiting. So us as students, I will say this, once the semester ends, we can no longer help you. I mean, the students have moved on to more classes. The class is over. So what we do is, if you need something in the spring and we're not around to help you, we create something like this that is a template. So you're seeing poster, you're seeing invitations, you're seeing cards and things of that nature. So I'll stop sharing. I will say a couple things. If you're interested in this, or know somebody who's interested in this, I can give my email address. They actually have my email address. I'll put it in the chat. I'll put my name in the chat if you want to write down. And what you need to do is email me. And then I can give you much more detail if you are interested. What I can say though is, I am not teaching the course. So there's 3 graphic designers. We've taught it for 6 years. I have taught it for all 6 of those years. We're starting to rotate. We also had someone planning to teach it. And he actually returned to school to go to Yale. So we got a new professor who's in teaching it. So I'm happy for him, but it changed who his teaching was. So you will not be dealing with me. You will be dealing with someone very qualified, more qualified than me in this nature. She runs her own creative firm. She's very talented, great to talk to. So, but she's still she just started last week. So what I'm doing is helping her out. I'm helping her. She's never taught this course. She's going to be great at it, but I'm helping trying to get her the word out about the class just through things like this. And then I will, if you want to be a client, I will then connect you guys. And then I'll say, we've had clients come at us and say, I'm just not ready. And we'll say, well, that's okay. We'll put you on the list for next year. We've had clients say, I would love to do it, but can you push me back a month? So it's like, I want to do it in September. Well, I can only do it if it's in October. We've unfortunately also had to say no to clients because we have gotten a lot of requests and we don't have enough students to fill it. That's rare, but what we do is we do this thing called a backup list, where if you come to us and you need help and we say no to you, we often have clients that fall through the last second. And it's sort of like this backup list where we say, hey, if you're ready, we can still help you. So you sort of have to be ready pretty quick. We've also had clients who will come to us with multiple jobs and we'll say, hey, I have a t-shirt, I have a logo, I don't have an event in the spring, but I have plenty of work. If that's your case, then what we'll say is, well, you need to pick one job, unfortunately, but what we can try and do is if a client falls through and you're in September and a client falls through, well, maybe we can pick you back up, give you another student in October, and we do 2 jobs for you instead of just 1. We've done that before too. So I know that's a lot of information. I hope I made sense in there. If you do have any questions, I'm free and open to questions. Henry has my email. Yeah, you can see that shirt there. We often do things like that, and logos or whatnot. So we also try to fall under branding systems. So if you are an organization that already has an existing brand, we work with you and make sure that we're not breaking any standards of that nature. So does anybody have any questions or?
I just want to compliment you on the great work you did for National Walking Week.
Oh, thank you.
There's the shirt. I'll, in the link for this presentation, I will include graphics that your students did besides this, all the graphic work that you did, so our members can refresh their memory on all that you did for us for National Walking Week. So
yeah. I was just say we did. What else did we? You mean like the group of things that we did for the National Walking Week?
That's right. You essentially created a logo. Sorry, wrong hand. I can't figure. There it is. All right. You created the logo for us, and you created multiple logos using the theme of the shield cane. You created one using a sole of a tennis shoe sort of thing, and in fact, this stripe across the bottom is the kind of the one of the branding elements that you all created based on the shoe design. So you created that. You created our social media cover, or I'm sorry, graphics for that. Banner, banner for Facebook page and stuff like that. So we actually do have a Facebook page dedicated just to National Walking Week. You'll see all those graphics over there still as we're prepping for the 2022 National Walking Week next April. For all you walking clubs out there, hint, hint, start thinking about what you're going to do the first 7 days of April. Thank you. That allows me a commercial message.
Yeah, so I know Henry has a question, but based off what he was saying, I do have to say that was all the students. I think you had a group of 3 students. I remember who you had, and they were go-getters and they were fantastic. And that what's funny is they came up with many more than what you're seeing. So you ended up with 1 logo. They ended up coming up with about 6 before they landed on that. So that group was really, really good. And I'll say, like, even if you're like, well, what if I get a student that's maybe not up to par? Well, we actually have students that aren't up to par as other seniors should be, and they still do a pretty good job. I mean, we're there to help them. That's the advantage of this class. I'm there to help them. They learn from their classmates. So they usually still get a good experience and the client gets one in return. So Henry, do you have a question?
Yes, Rachel, thank you.
Okay.
So can you clarify, do you take new clients for September, October, November, or September, October, or how does that work? Like, if I didn't get in September, could I maybe get in October?
Yeah. So what you'd want to do is contact me or that professor as soon as you can. Right now, if you want to get in for this fall. Okay. So if not, then if it's just too late, we've already gotten. I've been helping her. I'll say, I think I want to say we're pretty complete for September, which means we still have all of October, which is good. We usually are working on the October clients in the month of September. It's just too early to get them all at once. But we, like you saw that group project, we do that much earlier, but she will be responsible for that. So if you guys are interested in the group project toward the end, like the National Walking Week, you'll have to reach out to her and she will be sending you forms to fill out. But yes, if you want to get on this round this fall, and I know you've already sent me like 6 from the I already gave her those because they were early on. So she should be contacting those people. But if you're here today and you haven't gotten on any list or you can still send me an email and I'd be happy to forward on to her and she will try her best to help you out. She does have a big class. I believe she has 20 students. So we cap it at 18 and we try to keep it at 18, but we have a lot of students that want the class and we had to not deny like 3 students into the class painfully.
Right. And so does that include November as well?
So that doesn't include individuals in November. So that's a good
Okay.
question. So it's individual clients in the month of September and October. And then there's still individual clients, but it's still like a nonprofit that they're working with, but instead you're getting a group of students, not one student. So you'll be working with 3 or 4 and they're not doing one job, they're doing an event.
Right.
They're learning about finances and financial breakdowns and things like that.
Right. So just to our clubs that are with us, I mean, I will say there's several events that we do that come to mind right away in the spring that you could apply for to see if maybe you can get some help. And also, we're also on the back end or right in the middle of getting the banners out to everyone. And I know we still have several clubs that are wanting their logo cleaned up or even looking for a new logo. And there's still time because the last round of the banners that we'll print will go out at the end of the year. So that gives clubs time if they don't have a logo and want one to apply, and maybe you can get some support and there'll still be time to get it printed to get you a club banner with a new logo that may be designed by the students. So
yes, so you can always try. Like I said, unfortunately I can't guarantee who would get in at this point.
Right.
Because we've already started. We haven't started. We've already started matching the September because we're about to start classes. We start them on Monday, but we have not matched the ones in October. And so, like I said, I don't teach it. She's going to be doing the matching. If she says no, right? If you contact her, you need a logo. I guarantee you she will put you on the list for next year. We always do because we always circle back around. It comes up. It's like, I feel like I teach it every semester. But it's just once a year. And I can tell you almost every single year, every time we've had to say no to somebody, we do come back to them the following year. So if we do have to say no, it's really unfortunate and we hate that, but we promise that we try very hard to come back to you the following year.
Rachel, we really appreciate you being with us, and we really appreciate what you and your students have done for us already. And we know that you're supported other clubs out there as well, and we really appreciate that too. So
thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And if you have my email, if you have any questions, feel free to email me.
Very good. We'll make sure that email is distributed perhaps in the next newsletter that we have the beginning of October.
Okay.
And along with a link to the recording that we're doing, so we have hundreds of clubs, so we're going to make sure that we educate each and every one of them about what you're doing, and if they have need, I'm sure they're going to come knocking.
Okay.
So we
All
really
right.
appreciate all that you're doing for us.
I do want to clarify, even if it's not a walking club, if you know of anybody, I'm telling you, the nonprofit world is small. Someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. I know you guys know other people. So I do want to say, not just to you guys, we're open to helping everybody. And so I'm glad that you can put that out there.
Very good. Rachel, again, thank you so very
Thank you
much
so
on behalf
much.
of all of us and that are here as part of this and out there who will see this presentation. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thanks.
All right, very good. Well, that is our first portion of our presentation. We still have about 25 minutes left, and we were going to talk a little bit about some of our special programs that are coming up and still taking place. One of the things that I do want to point out is the TAW just came out in digital form. It should be arriving in print form here probably to those of you who subscribe. Make sure you're members of AVA, America's Walking Club. And Henry, if you want to come back on and talk a little bit about the benefits of being a member of America's Walking Club, I think that we would sure like to hear about that. So Henry, you out there? And
Thanks, Tim.
all right, very good.
Yeah, I am. So let me just say up front that we are in the process of restructuring our membership benefits program. And when I say membership benefits program, I'm talking at the AVA level, not the club level, but there could be a combination of both in some way. And so I feel personally that we need to add a lot of more value to the membership program, and that's why I've asked that we take a look at it and kind of restructure it, if you will. But there are some benefits right now, and one of them actually is a lifetime, because that's something that could possibly sunset over the next year or two, or be replaced with another type of membership program. But the benefits right now are you get the electronic or hard copy of the TAW, you get discounts on merchandise, and you get the convention discounts. And so around convention year, we always see that go up because you get the 10 or 15% discount on convention. And there's a lot more things that, like I said, we can do around membership that we're taking a look at. But in order to create the package that we feel is going to add more value to our members, you got to do some groundwork. We got to talk to the businesses and get them in line that they're going to give discounts. I know we have some hotel discounts too, and that kind of worked a little bit, but we want to do something better than that. And we also want to bring back some apparel, shoe companies or clothing companies that cannot provide some discounts for our members. So we want to look at that as a whole package and bring membership back with a bigger, better value for those that sign up. I don't know if you all know that, but initially when this membership program was designed initially, it wasn't really a membership program as I would think of one. You sign up for AARP, you get these benefits. It was more of a fundraising strategy to bring in some revenues for the organization. And so we're revisiting that and saying, well, how can we really make this a true membership package? It's not about you're making a donation. It's about you're getting some value added for subscribing to the membership. And so I wish I could say more, but I can't, because I will say that all I can say is we're going to overhaul it and we're going to make it even better for our members. So those that would want to sign up, there'll be some value added for signing up.
Henry, thanks very much for sharing that with us. I think that that's something each and every one of us, whether we're the presidents or officers of a club or just members of a club out in our communities, we need to be looking at what's going on at national and how can we become members of the National America's Walking Club. And I think that that's an important part of where we're evolving. I do want to point out that the TAW, as I started the conversation, the TAW did just come out in digital form today. Make sure you get a handle on how you get a copy of that. And the print version should be coming out to clubs and officers and clubs and those who do that copy. We have a lot of special programs specifically mentioned in there. And I do want to ask that you Oh, somebody asked a question, Henry. Can I gift somebody an AVA membership? Is that possible?
Can you gift?
Can I give a gift of an AVA membership to one of my favorite people out there? Who can I gift somebody a membership?
Absolutely. If they're paying for it for them, sure.
All right, and that should be something we could do fairly easily. And I guess contacting you or contacting headquarters, or is there some sort of form that I can fill out for somebody and send along their membership and make them a member?
Right. You can just fill out the application form and then send a note that you're gifting this to the person. We need their information, so that'll have to be collected on the membership form somehow. Or we can follow up. You can send a note and we'll follow up with them directly and say this was a gift and complete that, help them complete that. Tim, let me say something about the value of membership for us as an organization. So where we want to go is we want to be able to demonstrate to companies that we have X amount of members within the organization. Right now, we kind of have a dual membership, if you will. There's people that join at the club level. There's people that join at the AVA level. And so is it possible that we can combine or that we can count those numbers? Because the larger numbers that we can show to corporations or other organizations, the more benefit we can have for the organization. So when you start talking about sponsorship and memberships, they want to look at, what's their exposure or marketing value to us when you look at our membership. And right now, we know we have lots of members, but right now, roughly around 2,500 are only AVA members. And so, can we count everybody? And overall, we're around 9,500, maybe closer to 10,000. It could be more because we don't require clubs to really record the number of members they have. We ask for the information, but it's not a requirement. But the larger the numbers that we can demonstrate to organizations and companies, the more leverage it gives us in terms of value or grants or money that we can ask for. The companies, it's all about exposure on their end and who can they sell their product to or market it to. But on our end, it's a dual situation where, if we're gonna show these benefits or share these benefits with the organization, what's in it for our member? So I'm looking at it strictly from a point of view is, if we're going to bring this to you, what's in it for our members? And that's where I want to really leverage discounts or whatever we can do, and also whatever it is that the membership's looking for. When you talk about a membership, what do the members want? What's of value to them that they would say, yeah, I'll sign up. We know people like the tall, we know they like the convention discount, but what else do people want? What would really make you say, yeah, I'll sign up for that? And those are the things we want to go after. So I'm happy to, any input you want to send me, like, hey, I would really sign up today if you really had this in the membership package. Those are the things that would be helpful for me to know as we go down this path of reinventing the membership package.
That's great. Thank you very much, Henry. And I could just see now a Hector-made Christmas ornament that says, "You've been gifted an AVA membership," or something like that, to send to your favorite friend or something like that. So those of you who are just wondering what to buy for your best friends, perhaps an AVA membership just might be that. That commercial message brought to you by, well, Henry and I. How about that? So there may very well be an opportunity for you to invest in AVA while you share the gift of walking with those who you enjoy being members with. Now, back to special programs. We have some really a couple of special programs starting up. The TAW did not put the price for each logbook. Now, traditionally, it has been $10 until this past year, when it was $12 for the Walk with America's Veterans and our Great Lakes programs, because we have things that our awards go beyond just the patch. We have other things that happen to have other value to it. So there's no price associated with each of the special programs. So be careful of that and contact the sponsor, and we'll see if we can't correct that in the next issue of the TAW, or watch what's going on the website. There are some things, comments going on in the chat room about the gifting idea. So that's created some nice ideas, and we'll move forward with that. But let's see, Sandy Kraushaar from our southeastern Virginia area is with us, and she's going to be the POC for the town hall, city halls. I'm going to give the microphone over to her and let her talk a little bit about what she'd like to see in the special program that she's created that will start for us January 1st of 2022. So I'm out. Sandy, it's yours.
All right, thank you. All right, so originally the town hall and city hall was a large chamber that was in a building where the city or town council met and actually passed laws to govern the town or the city. Gradually, this became part of the entire building became known as the town hall or the city hall. These generally are very distinctive architecture from the rest of the town, and they usually have the word city hall or town hall engraved on the building, so that they're very distinctive. So in this program, we want you to walk by town halls and city halls. I've had a lot of people ask questions about, well, how about a village, or how about a borough, or, you know, if it's the equivalent of a town, then it's a town hall. You know, different states have different names for them, but basically an entity that's on a map that's identified as an independent part that you can find on a map would be a town or a city. Although I did have one person who said, wanted me to change the name to include boroughs, and I said, no, town halls will cover it. Also, old town halls or city halls will also qualify. Usually those are going to be in the center of town, where most of a lot of the walks go anyway, because that's where all the interesting things are. So sometimes some of the cities and towns have moved their city hall or town hall a little further out into the suburbs. But I think the original idea of where the city council met is what we're looking for, where the government is. So an old one would count. Yes, village hall, boroughs. If it's a town, a distinct entity that has a council of some kind. I know my county has a board of supervisors, but you know, if you look on the map, you can find the county. So James City, you can find James City, which is the county that I live in. Although we don't really have a hall, but we would use the Williamsburg City Hall. So old ones, yes. And the new ones, if they're on your walk, like I said, many of them have been moved out further where you can't find them anymore. So that they may not be on your walk anymore. Municipal buildings do not count. That's usually administrative offices, and those are not what we want. What I want is where the government happens, where they make the laws for the town or the city. So that's the idea. And as I said, distinctive architecture, city hall, town hall is usually engraved on the building. So that's the kind of thing we're looking for.
Great, Sandy. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, and thanks for stepping up to run this program. And we do have a co-hosting organization, the National Council of Cities. We're hoping as this pandemic thing dies down that these co-hosting organizations will step up to help tell their clients, their contacts, what we're doing with them. And this would, that's the whole goal of our special programs moving forward. Make sure each and every special program has another entity out there related to the theme who can help spread the word about what's going on. We do have a question, Sandy, about number of events and the cost of your book. And we haven't seen the patch yet, so we're looking forward to that as well. Number of events and the cost.
Okay, it's 15 events, cost is $10. And
Good.
the patch has, it's a half and half. So half of it is a city hall and half of it is a town hall. And there are 2 places in Virginia that have some really nice architecture that I picked for those.
Well, that'd be great. Again, thank you so much for stepping up to run this program for us. And it is a 3-year program with a 1-year grace period after that. Again, it's on the website, the ava.org website under future special programs. You can get our address, you can get our contact information and ask questions.
Yeah, somebody asked about, more than one, just one. Old ones and new ones on the same route. No, only one would count. So just one, just one.
Can you repeat a stamp if you get an old one on one and a new, if it's the same stamp? Can you repeat the stamp if you get 2 different qualifiers?
No, just
You have
one,
to have
please.
Just one stamp,
Yeah.
one of one stamp. Okay.
Yeah. So, walk in 15 different cities and towns, in 4 years, you should be able to do that.
Okay. All right. Again, thank you so very much. And any other questions for Sandy? No, I don't think so. Sandy, again, thank you so very much. And I don't know that Sherry is with us. Sherry is the POC for the Rails to Trails. There is a website dedicated to Rails to Trails, and there is a co-sponsoring organization, the Rails to Trails Conservancy. If you find that website, there is a list of Rails to Trails that are under the auspices of that organization. Because they are our co-sponsor, they determine what the trails are that we're going to walk. There's no minimum distance. If you cross it sideways and you're on it, that wins and you can claim it. Or you don't have to have a minimum amount of distance on that specific Rails to Trails. Just know that it is listed on the Rails to Trails Conservancy website. So that is your clue. And we have some really great trails. And you can, as I understand it, duplicate the trail if it is a different stamp in a different city. So we have some Rails to Trails events that cross great distances and go through multiple municipalities where there are walks in each one. Each one of those stamps would qualify. So the idea is to be as broad as possible and help you. Let's show the Rails to Trails people that we really appreciate what they've done. And by connecting and we will create, just as we have Facebook pages for Great Lakes and for the Walk with America's Veterans, we'll create a Facebook group for each one of these 2 new programs as well, allowing you to share pictures of your Rails to Trails experience, or take those mug shots in front of town halls, city halls, and let's create a joyful experience as we share these unique qualifiers this particular year. Well, let's see, we have 6 minutes left. We have some of our members of our board of directors on board. How many events? I'm thinking 12, but I'm not sure about that, so I should not have probably said that. We'll take a look at the website and see if we can't put that out along with the link of this, answer that particular question. So again, the patch is the reward for that as well. So 2 patches coming up here. What does it take to get a special program together and approved? Well, old ideas can be recycled after 10 years. So we do have some folks out there that really enjoyed a special program, but you got to wait a decade from when it last ended and closed down and existed no more before you revive the program. And that then you send your proposal to me and the programs committee. We will evaluate what it is, but I'm going to ask you to go out and find, if you can, a partnering organization. So if you want to revive the cemetery program, well, go out to the National Mortuary Association or something, I don't know, the Undertakers of America. I don't care. But no, the idea is to create a sponsorship or a partnership with another organization. And I said those names in jest, but the idea is that we want you to really try to find a way to take your special program and market what we're doing to a non-AVA audience out there as well. It allows us to do a service to other organizations. With the Walk with America's Veterans programs, as our nation recovers from this COVID thing, we're going back to these veterans organizations who, quite frankly, have an aging population and could probably use some athletic events. Many of them, as veterans, probably knew about Volksmarching in Europe when they were stationed in the military over there. And the idea is to bring them back to us and say, remember that Volksmarching you did in the 1980s and 70s in Europe? Well, guess what? We're doing it too. And how would you like us to, in October, let's do an Oktoberfest out of your VFW post or American Legion post or something like that. Well, that's the whole purpose of this, is to bring a new population or an old population back to join us back in the walking experience and perform a service for the community and get them back to physical fitness, which is what we enjoy doing. And that's the service aspect of our walking and popular sport activity, is we're providing a service for our community while we're enjoying what it is we like doing. And that's what gets us the grants. That's what helps us to grow as an organization, gets us better publicity. And we do away with this idea that we are America's best secret. We don't want to be a secret anymore. We want to get out there. So, so send your proposals to me and we'll work with you to fees. To be a national program, you get all the benefits of marketing on the ava.org site. You get in the OSB and things like that. There is a one-time fee of $300. That's in the policy manual right now. And that is the fee that will come when you are approved for that. And then from that, the profits are yours. So it is $300. That's the one-time fee in the policy manual. If you're concerned about that, please talk to your RD about that. But it's for those of us that are doing programs, almost everybody that I've talked to has recouped their costs fairly quickly in this program. So we're very fortunate to make that happen. I do encourage you to look at the wide variety of special programs out there. Make sure your walks are tweaked a little bit to go past this interesting thing or that interesting thing. And let's draw walkers looking for qualifiers in all these different special programs. Well, that's it for tonight, unless there's any other questions that you have. Henry, do you want to wrap the gavel for us as the official on staff with us, or otherwise I'll wrap the gavel? Henry, the gavel is yours. You can wrap it when you're ready.
Thanks, Tim. I just was wondering if any of our the board members that were joining us had anything to add. I know Bob is with us and Wayne Knapp. So I just thank you for joining us, and I wanted to give an opportunity. I wanted to share any last comments.
Okay, we have your national secretary sitting right behind me.
Okay, and the secretary, Cecilia.
Yes, sorry about that background. We just wanted to be a little spacey about it here, but she's hidden in my background back here. Anything you want to say?
Nope.
Nope, nothing from the National Secretary. All right, it's 9 o'clock, Henry. Your turn to wrap the gavel.
Thank you all for joining us. Appreciate it. I hope to take advantage of the opportunity. If you do need support with the graphic design work, please follow up with Rachel or myself. Directly send me an email and I'll connect you. And we look forward to the next one. Some exciting stuff coming down the road with Olympiad. I'm excited because we went and looked at sites today for the Olympic Village, and boy, that's going to be a phenomenal event. So I'm excited about that. And we're engaging in that planning effort now for 2023. Again, thank you, Tim, for hosting this, and thank you everyone for joining us. Have a good evening.
Very good. Good night, all. And we'll be out in 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1.